Alright, welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4 Millennium Dawn modded playthrough of North Korea, where I don't run the risk of doing or repeating the mistakes of whatever I did in the Greek playthrough. Or didn't do. I guess it's more what I didn't do. Anyway, if you're just hopping back in, we've maximized our government spending other than military spending. We're actually working on getting our military kind of lined out with our policies first before we're going to dive into defense companies and government expenditures to finalize kind of where we want to be. It is 2032. We had some internal conflict resolution that had to take place. We have tripled or quadrupled in size, effectively, very recently in the last 2 years. So we're dealing with the aftermath of those issues and the problems that come with that, with our expenses increasing. Hopefully we can have some rapid resolution to those problems. Looks like Kurdistan has a revolution going on themselves. And Korea is being hyper aggressive. So let's go ahead and just demand reparations real quick. We're not gonna go to war with the East yet. We're still consolidating territory and kind of figuring out what we want to do. I think Malaysia, which we do have a justification active against, is still... Alright, we'll play it off for now. Yeah, so they're still being guaranteed by Korea. So we do have that as an issue. Geopolitically, what do we have as options? Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, or Laos, and the Indonesian areas are available targets for our military. I would say it's much more possible due to the naval dominance stat that we could make moves on Indonesia. We'd be island hopping though, and I'm not sure if we can actually get a foothold in on the mainland here. But if I was going to declare war right now with our current navy size, Indonesia being the target, I'm going from this port here. Well, and then I'm airdropping from our air bases here. Kind of in the back. And we're trying to grab that port as fast as possible. And then if we are going for a Vietnam, a Cambodia, Laos, Thailand area, or the Karen state here, we might go for the Karen state, who knows. This is going to be a full airborne operation. Everything we do here would be airborne special forces units. So we'd be going from probably our island bases here just onto the land. There's no way we're going to get a naval invasion quickly. We don't have the boats. So that's just fundamentally an impossibility for us. Oh, look, can I get rid of... Looks like I need to use some of our political power. As we acquire more factories just due to our conquest. No naval yards. No dockyards, though. That's concerning. APCs. We're going to just keep bumping production up. For now. I do need to get a helicopter design out, and that's a ground force unit, so have plenty of army experience. I want to see if there's anything else we need equipment-wise. Maybe self-propelled guns or MLRS. We have anti-air systems. We don't. So let's go ahead and add some of these additional vehicles we're missing that are going to be necessary. And then, oh, looks like we got a ton of factories. Oh my god. Wasn't expecting that. APCs. We have transport helis, right? We do not. All right, let's go ahead and make them. All right, so we'll just bump all the equipment that we are making options and just kind of give us a little bit of a baseline. I'm going to move trains to the back end though. Ships, we do want to have max production of frigates. As terrible as that design is for us, we're still going to do it. And it looks like we're short steel, which is wild. It's just odd to be short steel in anything. But yeah, I did I do think I'm gonna take probably a day or two because I stayed up all night watching the geopolitical events that happened last night. Um, Obviously, some crazy things happened in the in the world. I'm thinking I am gonna do the Cambodia, or no, not Cambodia. Sorry, Colombia. I'm gonna do a Colombia playthrough in South America. I think Venezuela is probably a touchy subject, but I can do Colombia and kind of get near enough to the situation because that's a similar situation. Looks like China is actually going to be nationalist now, which is terrifying because that means they are capable of attacking us. So this may not be a good thing. It just kind of depends how they play themselves. I may lose to them. All right, so we got our last power plant built out. We do need more fuel, so we are building an enrichment plant. Looks like roads are getting built right now. Getting more offices and factories pushed out pretty quick here. So this is going okay. As far as 30% unemployment is pretty bad though. You can see our stability's dropped by half, though our war support has gone up. Alright, so China was annexed by the nationalist China. That civil war is over now. I'm curious if they're still targeting the Republic of China, though. Yeah, so this is very intriguing. Oh my god, they have a ton of factories, though. Group-wise, they don't have that many divisions, but they do have a ton of fleets and boats. They have 331 boats. And their air force is untouchable by us with 10,000 Su-30s. Insane. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and bump. Seems like we're getting military factories very fast. I may not need to build these in Pyongyang. Like, that may be completely unnecessary. How's our personnel? So we have 4 airborne units. Let's look at where our special forces are. Still stuck. And in that same realm of 34. So it's definitely not related to GDP. Your special forces cap. I wonder if it gives like an info panel on it. It doesn't seem like it does. Subjects and governments in exile. Weird. Anyway, I don't know what percent we would be now. Oh, we moved up to a full 1% of global influence. Nice. Working our way into relevance, guys. We're working our way into relevance. Um, yeah, we are gonna need to annex the Philippines as quick as possible, though. We're spending a lot of equipment and resources on that whole situation right now. Go ahead and trade for more oil. I'm gonna have to trade for steel too. Let's look at our target list. Let's go to the resource map. I mean, Indonesia does have a fair amount of steel. Don't have a like crazy amount, and if I annex this section of the Philippines, we'll get more. Honestly, Vietnam has more. Vietnam would allow us to build more boats if we can take Vietnam. And Vietnam, oh, is guaranteed by Europe. Of course they are. What about Cambodia, Laos, Thailand? Thailand is not guaranteed by anyone. And has a ton of rubber. I think I'm going to start a civil war in Vietnam. That's probably the geopolitical maneuver I'm going to have to do. I really don't have to research this, but so I'm going to try and skip it. Let's check on vehicle manufacturers. See what I can do here. I really don't want to spend the money, but if I have to, I have to. Production efficiency over research speed. Maybe resource use reduction. All right. The task capacity. And then that's a reliability bonus. Oh, nope. Let's see if I can do that. All right. We got construction, so we'll get resource gain next. Yeah, so we're gonna have to go for a war with the East faction. What is Papua New Guinea's situation? Doesn't look like they're guaranteed by anyone. New Zealand has light metals and steel. How far is... That's actually in range of an airfield. Let's check there what intel we do have. Very minimal. They do have 5th gen multi-role fighters though, which is crazy. But they have no units. This is viable for our Air Force right now to handle. If we can get fighters there. I'm not sure about range. Let's see. I don't think we can get fighters effectively to New Guinea. So they're off the target list. I'm thinking a war with Indonesia is about to be on the books. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and start influencing Malaysia. I want to start a civil war here if I can. That'll be how we handle Malaysia and the East faction. Since we're behind. And then I think Greater Indonesia depends on their Air Force. Navy. They have a huge Navy. They might have a big enough Navy to actually do naval invasions in mass. That's troubling. Hmm. Alright, let me get here. See if this boosts our special forces cap like I think it might. It does. Oh my god. Hello, airborne divisions. This is what we wanted to see. Alright, so we are gonna want all the way up to the cap, however many that is. Looks like we're gonna have 20 total airborne units to work with now. And future armor stuff. Hmm. What about... Guess we already made them? I need to launch them. Perfect. Alright, so... we should go from the worst to the best coverage. Let's see if I have to make more. Drop for now. That's fine. Fine to lose some. There we go. That's the real bonus. Okay. I don't know if that's capped, so I might do one more cycle later of spy satellites. But that for sure helps. Alright, let's check Navy. How many boats do we have made? Just one spare. Yep. And I really don't need these factories. So what I do need, though, are civilian industry. 20 factories or whatever we have now is actually plenty. We'll dump that there. Build more offices here in Huangye. Because we're almost out of offices to build. And then we'll start working on dockyards after those stacks. some of these GDP per capita bonuses or GDP growth bonuses. Yeah, you can see how much their own internal building is, and that's pretty, like, it's substantial. Alright, so I need to take that into consideration. Okay. Let's go ahead and build out the construction for some naval yards in these new territories. We'll bump that up. We're going to add that into the queue. And then office sectors. We'll go with power. Go with oh, go with 3 different stacks of power plants. There we go. Something like that. And then we gotta mess with our production real quick. Some obsolete items. Oh, there's helicopters up there. I don't need this. I need attack helis, not that heli. It's the steel. Pretty cool. That leaves the Philippines down. Get a few more military industry. Yeah, can we get up to 300 political power again, though? Looks like we're losing political power gain because our stability is actually dropping. Let's check on all those airborne units. I'm just gonna let them train. We'll just let them finish out their training. I'm very concerned though about our income now. I would have thought this would have dropped more. So this is problematic to me. So let me go ahead and bump our nuclear power plants in Pyongyang. I'm going to move this stack the back end behind all those railroads. I'm gonna move our Palau Air Wing over here. We do have a couple heavy lift air wings that are not assigned. So let's go ahead and add 2 more. If we can. We should be able to. Yeah, so 2 more wings, 100 planes. And then I want to move multi-role fighters. I want the Stews, though. Again, that's this one. Now, those are MiG-29s. Right, let's go ahead and move this air wing up here. We'll be at 300 planes on site. Somehow. Oh, they must have 50 because this is not a... I guess when we annex it, we'll figure that whole situation out. Okay. Yeah, so that all our airborne units over halved. I think we used 100,000 manpower. That's pretty wild. And as soon as I annex this, I think my expenditures are going to get even worse. Just because we're going to get like a huge influx of people again. Like 50 million there, 27 million there. That's insane. What's our pop now? 40 million. Yeah, so we'll go up to 100 million in pop without the supporting infrastructure and jobs. This is going to get a hell of a lot worse. I really shouldn't be trying to annex them that fast. I should probably be making factories. Doesn't make for interesting videos though, but that is the play. Factories and offices. Honestly, probably more offices to supplement the sheer volume of people. Oh, we should get another research slot. We're at the 10 trillion mark in GDP. So I imagine I'm going to lose it. All right. While I'm sitting here, I just have first gen attack heli hulls, fourth gen tanks, and vehicles. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to wait for future since we're almost there. It's just 2 years. I wouldn't be able to make like a ton of fourth gen vehicles. Probably 150 to 200. And I don't think we have the equipment anyway. Alright, where are our agents right now? So we have one in Malaysia. We have this lady back home. We're going to move her to Indonesia. I want better intel on Indonesia's troop movements. I'm fairly certain I need to go ahead and declare war on them. Yeah, they have a ton of naval ships. Hmm. This was difficult. I think Cambodia has oil, right? They have a little oil, mostly rubber and we may go for Laos. Laos. Since Vietnam's off the table, I'm gonna have to take I'm gonna have to do airborne invasions. Cambodia. Ah, man, Cambodia is probably the only one we could actually attack via an airborne campaign. Yeah, they don't have an air force at all. We can't declare war on a country with the same ideological group because we're emerging not aligned, non-aligned. That stinks. Not great. What about Thailand? I need a coastal. They have 1,000. They have too many fighters. We're not gonna be able to impose our will. What about Myanmar? Myanmar is possible. They have a lot of infantry though. A lot of equipment. They're not gonna be easy to beat. They do have a lot of IFVs too. Let's check on Myanmar. Bangladesh. Guaranteed by India. Alright, so India's guaranteeing. Alright, so honestly, I could take these via airborne invasions. I just would not be able to get units out of there. They'd be trapped there forever until we disbanded them. Thailand might be the one. They have 1,000 third-gen air superiority fighters, though. And a big navy. So Thailand. No, Cambodia. That's really rough. All right. Tandem warheads. Probably need to work on the better equipment. Go ahead and just do that. All right, so we get some better artillery. Cruiser holes done. Probably need missile radar control. It's probably pretty important. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and close this episode here. We'll have to see where we're at. Front page. We're there. We're there. You can see us. But 10 trillion GDP, territory wise, we're on the front page. Industry. We should be. Oh, we're more towards the top now. So getting that economy up pretty well. Nice. And then logistics page. We do have shortages of armored personnel carriers still. A fairly decent infantry stockpile. Yeah. It may be time. We may have to go for total war against Japan and Korea. Just see how it goes. But anyway, thanks for watching. I'll catch everyone on the next episode. Y'all have a good one.